We are suckers for punishment.
I somehow cut myself on the pieces of glass.
Oh my goodness.
It's not human error or anything. It's the wind. It was the wind.
There, it was the wind. Free birthday ticket.
Welcome ladies and gentlemen, as you enter the cable car, please put up all the empty spaces guys. As you can find all the way around the cable car, we'll be closing up shortly. Thank you. And I need you guys to step away from the sides. Please let go of the shoulder handle. The floor you are standing on, guys, is about to rotate. The floor will be turning as we ascend, so capture as much as you can and do enjoy this beautiful view of the Wonder City. Here we go. Table Mountain is a national park, part of the World Heritage Site, and it's now one of the new 7 wonders of nature. We ask of you guys to respect the environment by not picking any flowers, chipping away rocks or stones, feeding it of the wild animals, as well as wasting any water. Please stick to the demarcated pathways there for your own safety. As we come to a complete stop, we will be at a height of 1,067 meters above sea level, at about 3,500 feet. If you guys have your same tickets, please ensure you keep them safe. You'll need to scan them once you come back down. Usually to lose them, it is a very long walk down. Have a lovely stay on top of Table Mountain, and we'll see you when you come back. Thank you.
Yes, where we are.
Oh, we're back.
We are back on the Table Mountain.
Yeah.
On the table, right on the table, not on the chair. we didn't crawl up a leg or something. This time we took the cable car.
Much easier.
Like clever people.
Yeah, so we're saving our energy for walking on the ridge of Table Mountain.
Yeah, so we are back, we are exploring a little bit. Last time we were here, we didn't really have much time to explore at all. It was just, we had to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, we're in such a rush.
We need to move, come, let's go. That noise is the horn to let everyone know that they should return. It's the last car going down. It was crazy. But anyway, so as you probably saw the video, we will link it up there or up there so you can see it if you haven't already done that. But yeah, so today we're exploring Table Mountain. Yeah, so let's see if there's any hidden treasures we can find this time around instead of just racing by it all.
Like I'll look at the camera up, oh, that's nice, okay, we gotta go.
Yeah, so the weather is kind of unpredictable.
Very. Not again.
The cable car is supposed to close at 5 p.m. and it's pretty much deserted. We might end up in a cloud. Take me to the clouds above, they say. Yeah, so on the way here this morning, the mountain was kind of open. We had a little bit of cloud cover on the mountain, as always. But now it's just awesome weather for hiking again. When we took the cable car up, as soon as we sort of came out the little building there, where the cable car station is, no wind at all.
Yeah, no wind.
Nothing.
That was weird.
100 meters down the mountain, then I think this is probably where the wind originates.
Pretty much, yeah.
But anyway, let's see if we can find a nice spot to have some coffee and have something to chow. Why are you walking on that side of the trail?
I'm not walking there. Have you seen that drop?
You're only going to fall until you hit the ground and that's it.
Yeah, it's not the falling that kills you, it's the sudden stop.
I think this drop is probably about 3/4 of the way down the mountain. It is. No wonder Nikki doesn't want to walk on the side of the drop.
I'm not going to tempt fate, thank you very much. I think with a hike back we might end up in a cloud.
I have to say, we can now appreciate the views. It's this part of the trail the other day. We ended up pretty much running through all of this, and every now and then when you see something magnificent like one of these sheer drops off the mountain, then we quickly just stopped and absorbed it
As much as we could.
for a few seconds, but yeah, so unfortunately we couldn't really do it. But now look at this.
We can take everything in.
We can sit and enjoy the views. Hopefully the clouds don't mess us up too much. Yeah, so onwards to our picnic spot. I'm hungry, man. Come on, let's go.
Say my name.
Maclear's Beacon is about an hour's hike from the cable car station. So, and I think we're about halfway there now. I don't know, I can't remember. I didn't time us. We have ample time today to take in the sights and sounds.
Random hedge.
There's like a random little fence type story over here. It's probably a trail that led up here some years ago, and then they ended up locking it off so that no one can go up there anymore. I don't know, but anyway, one of the mysteries of life. If you have any information on any of this, why they would do this, put a comment down below. Let us know, because we are totally stumped. It's very strange. Welcome to lunch.
Yeah, what a scenic lunch.
On top of Table Mountain, well,
The highest peak of Table Mountain.
Table Mountain.
Table! The highest peak of Table Mountain.
Isn't it officially Maclear's Beacon is the highest peak?
Yeah.
The one that we just conquered.
Yes!
It's a bit chilly up here, to say the least.
You can see the clouds rolling in now. It looks quite cool.
Behind you is where it seems like all the clouds are being born, because it's just grey out that side. But behind us, way back in the distance, you can see Malmesbury. But this little kop, or this little hill over here, is Devil's Peak.
So, there's a very interesting South African folk tale of why Table Mountain has its little blanket cover. And it comes from an old Dutch seafarer by the name of Jan van Hunks. And when he retired on the slopes of Devil's Peak. And he used to hike up Devil's Peak to escape his wife.
Really?
The old ball and chain, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Interesting,
He
okay.
used to, sort of hike away from home to escape his wife. And eventually he decided to hike up Table Mountain, where he smoked his pipe. And he came across someone, and he was sort of known as like the most prolific pipe smoker back in his day. and he hiked up Table Mountain and he came across a stranger, and the stranger challenged him to a smoking contest to see who could blow the most smoke. Very interesting. And then it came out, but he won, and then he noticed that the stranger has horns under his hat and cloven feet. So it was the devil he was smoking against.
Oh my word.
And he was whisked away. And that's till this day. They say if you see the cloud cover on Table Mountain, they say, Jan van Hunks is smoking his pipe again, trying to win the devil.
Wow.
Very interesting.
What a cool story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've heard the name before, Jan van Hunks, but I didn't really know the whole story with all the details and all that.
All the details, yeah.
Something new for me, something new for you too. There's nothing else up here. I'm not going to eat the plants, so I might so I might as well eat this.
Gesundheit.
It just exploded, I swear. Disaster struck.
Unfortunately, I knocked over the thermos, and now all the glass broke inside. Now we don't have any hot water for a nice hot drink.
You are dripping
Yeah.
on your backpack.
Yeah, it's dripping everywhere.
Oh my goodness. Bye bye coffee. Makeshift plaster.
I watched MacGyver when I was young. I picked up a few things. So this plaque is really interesting. This was erected in 1922 in the memory of members of the mountaineering club who passed away in the First World War. As far as I understand, it was General Smuts that erected this, and he's actually my distant ancestor. He's my, as far as I understand, from the family, he's on my father's side, he's my great uncle. So, yeah.
Great uncle.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so this plaque, as you can see, it also indicates I think the distances to the various places in and around the Western Cape. So it just gives you a rough idea of what's happening. So if you ever get lost in Cape Town,
Just like a few kilometers upward and
yeah, just you can't miss the mountain. So just find the mountain and then hike up the mountain and then come all the way to this little plaque thingy here, and then you will find your way from there again. It just shows you how quickly the weather changes. It looks like it's the middle of winter again, and we are back on the way to the cable car station again now. Since the wind blew over our coffee,
unfortunately.
we decided to rather get a takeaway coffee. So I feel robbed of my coffee. Luckily this part of the trail is very nicely kept and maintained. You can see it's got these walkways, so it's nice and easy going on this. The only section where you might end up having a little bit of difficulty is this one part sort of halfway between here and the cable car station, that there's a few rocks and things, and yeah, you end up having to sort of crawl over them and around them and things like that. Okay guys, interesting fact. We are on the side of Table Mountain, and on this side you should be able to see the city bowl.
There's nothing there.
That's the very first fact. Hey, don't fall. It's all just a grey mess down there. Check it out, it's just completely grey, even on this side. Talk about falling. Second fact, more people lose their lives climbing this mountain per year than what they do losing their lives climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, that's scary.
We are in the Jan van Hung smoke. The cloud cover is kind of thick now, and it's almost like it's drizzling slightly. So before we get completely soaked, let's get a move on.
Not again.
The cable car was supposed to close at 5 p.m. About 20 minutes ago, we heard the siren asking everyone to come to the cable cars. So I'm thinking they're closing it early because of this weather. Maybe the wind's too bad because they can only take a certain amount of wind. Otherwise the whole thing blows around, I would assume. So we just sort of reached all these little pathways and things, and it's pretty much deserted.
It's quite eerie.
So either everyone's queuing already, or everyone's already been taken down the mountain, and if that's not the case, well, there's always a first for everything, I assume. It's the first time I'm on Table Mountain. It's so cold, so cloudy, everything looks closed. Easy.
Oh gosh. It's very deserted. I hope we're not too late. This is the second time that we almost thought we were going to make it for the cable car because they were sounding the alarms early and we thought it was till 5. So luckily we made it. We're here. We're here.
Another fun fact of Table Mountain. Did you know that in 2019 Table Mountain accepted its 28 millionth visitor on the mountain?
Whoa.
28 million people.
Million.
I don't know if it is since they opened Table Mountain or if that was, I think it was in 1997, 1996 or something like that, where they built this specific, or they upgraded to this specific car, the big round one that the floor spins, you know, it does one rotation as you go up, which is quite cool. But yeah, 28 million people.
I wonder how many of that 28 million people are, what's the ratio of how many locals and what people from, you know, other countries, the tourists, from what countries they are?
I would say probably less than 5% of the people that we saw and heard up there now today was local, you know. A lot of German-speaking people,
A lot of Americans?
a lot of Americans and Chinese and also, right? So there's a lot of different tourist groups and
awesome to
nations
see.
up here. It's interesting to know that it's such a big attraction.
Yeah, a
big
worldwide attraction. It's
tourist
really cool.
tourist attraction.
And it's right in our backyard.
Yeah. I slipped and I fell. And I didn't break anything. I didn't tear a muscle. I tore my pants. My pants. And now the cold air is blowing in here, and I have to say it's not very pleasant.
So we decided to stick around on Signal Hill, which is right next to Lion's Head.
Which is right next to Table Mountain.
Yeah.
Can't forget that. It's right there.
To enjoy the gorgeous sunset. So we took some time lapse and we hope you guys enjoy it as well.
And remember guys, life's too short to be boring.
So go out and have an adventure.